that healeth thee. I am the Lord, your healer. I sent my word and I healed your disease. I am the Lord, your healer. You sent your word and you healed my disease. You are the Lord, my healer.
Whether therefore ye eat or drink or whatsoever ye do, do all to the glory of God. Good evening and welcome to another edition of Nature's Way here on Waves 96.3 FM. I am Debbie, your host, and with me this evening is Nebert, and we are here to give you some very important information. Just want to say that we have been having a wonderful day so far, and we trust that you have been having a wonderful day as well. Before we go any further, I invite you to bow your heads with me while I pray. Our Father, which art in heaven, thank you for your grace and your mercy that you have extended unto us. Thank you for the blessings that you have given us from morning until now. As we come in studio today to share this vital information with our listeners and viewers, I pray that you will be with us, you will keep us, and you will grant us wisdom and understanding. Give us the words to speak. And I pray that you will touch everything in studio that they may work to their optimal. Be with your people now and bless them. And continue to provide for them. Help them to realize that it is time to put away selfish things and that they are to surrender their lives to you. Bless us and keep us now, we pray and say thanks. In Jesus' name, our soon coming King. Amen. Yes, so we are going to be looking at some natural health and herbal remedies and some natural herbs. Now, Genesis 1:29 has given us the blueprint in regards to the foods that we are to eat. And, if we follow this instruction that God has given us, we will not. Um, in His words, He said, we will be the diseases that came upon the Egyptians will not come upon us. So it behooves us to be obedient to His words and to do the things that He says we are to do, to follow His instructions. So this evening, I just want to take us back to where we are coming from, or take us back to that old landmark, the blueprint that Jesus has given to us. And so Nebert and I will be sharing this information with you. Um, I know he'll be coming from a biblical perspective as well as um, the herbal perspective. He's known as the herbal man. And so he'll be sharing some information with us as well in terms of that. Now, before I get into before we get into the discussion, Libert, I just want our listeners and our viewers to know that we are not medical practitioners, as we have often said, but the information that we want to share with you this evening is informative in nature and is not intended to serve as diagnosis, treatment, or prevention and or cure for any specific health conditions of our listeners and our viewers. Now, we give no guarantee of or we assume any liability for any outcome from the use of this information. And as we have often said, this information is informative and this is general information. So you can get this information from medical books, from the internet, and you can do your own research so that just to verify what has been said on this station. And you know some of the information we share are testimonials as well, so you know you can test it for yourself and you can find the information out there. But what we do, we share the information with you. Okay, so we're going to be looking at natural herbs, and you may ask the question, what are natural herbs, Debbie? What are natural herbs? Now, natural herbs are plant derived substance that, such as maybe leaves, and you are indeed listening to Waves 96.3 FM. So, as I was saying, the natural herbs, these are plant derived substances. And these are like the leaves, the roots, or the flower. And these are used for culinary purposes in flavoring our meals and so on. Also, they are used for medicinal purposes to support wellness and manage ailments, any kind of ailments that we may have. All right, so these are natural herbs. And as I said, these are used for culinary flavoring or medicinal purposes. And these support wellness and manage any kind of ailments that we may have. Now, what are some of the benefits of using natural herbs? Now, natural herbs provide comprehensive health benefits by offering nutrient dense, antioxidant rich compounds that reduce inflammation, they boost immunity, and they aid in digestion. Natural herbs offer a holistic, often more affordable, and accessible alternative for managing any chronic conditions that we may have. And they support mental wellness and improve our daily long term health. Such as, and there are some herbs that persons use on a daily basis, such as garlic, and this is good for heart health, and also ginger. This is used for nausea and stomach issues and so on. All right. So I mentioned some key health benefits for natural herbs, and I just want to share them with you, go in a little more details um, of them with you. Right, so I'm just going to, for example, I mentioned inflammation, and I'm going to add pain to that. So what the natural herbs do, they have antioxidant rich compounds, and they reduce inflammation, and they boost immunity and aid in digestion. So I'm just going to break this down for the key health benefits. Now, in reducing inflammation and pain, there are some herbs that persons use to assist in this area, like cayenne and turmeric. And we know cayenne and turmeric, they contain compounds such as capsaicin and curcumin, respectively, and these act as natural anti-inflammatory um, inflammatories to alleviate pain and also chronic inflammation. So one of the things that herbs, the natural herbs do, they reduce inflammation. And when you have inflammation, naturally you're going to have pain. So once the inflammation is reduced, then the pain is reduced. Good evening and welcome Carol Jackson and also Sadiki. Um, Welcome, nice to have you on sharing in this in nature's way this evening. Now, another thing that the natural herbs do is they reduce immunity. They promote immunity and they promote immune system support. Now, many of the herbs, including echinacea, oregano, and garlic, these possess antimicrobial and antiviral properties that strengthen the body's natural defenses. So, these natural herbs, Nibert, also help with immune health and
Yes.
immune support.
Yeah. And they find that we keep repeating like things like garlic,
Yes,
because garlic
very
does a number
important.
of different things.
Mhm,
Aside from assisting with heart health,
mhm,
it is also antibacterial
mhm.
and in some instances
That
antifungal as
and
well,
antiviral
and
too.
antiviral in some
Yes, yes.
instances. So what you find is that when you are reducing inflammation,
Mhm,
a single herb or a combination of these herbs will tell you exactly what they do,
mhm.
whether they are effective by themselves or whether you have to add something else to it to make it more effective.
Right. Another thing that I mentioned um, is it helps with digestion. So it improves digestive health. Now there are some herbs that persons use in this instant, like for example peppermint. Peppermint oil is known to relieve abdominal pain and bloating, while ginger, this can also aid with nausea and so on, as I mentioned earlier. So, just to give you some of the herbs, this is not even a list. Just I'm just mentioning because we told you what the natural herbs are, their substances from the leaves, roots, flower, and these are some of the things that you can use them to do. Also, for heart health and disease prevention. Now, herbs such as garlic and hawthorn, now these can help to lower cholesterol, reduce blood pressure, and protect against cardiovascular diseases. All right. Also, it I mentioned that it is nutrient dense. Now, herbs are packed with vitamins, and they have vitamins A, C, and K. Now, these are essential for immune function, healthy skin, and also bone health. Mental health also is important. So, for your mental health well-being, now you have some adaptogenic herbs. Now, what these herbs do, like for example, ashwagandha is one of these herbs. These are herbs that help to reduce or to manage stress and anxiety, and these reduce your cortisol levels. While you have other herbs like saffron, and this herb improves mood and so on.
And you have for mental health also you have
Mhm,
herbs like balsam,
mhm.
and in some instances you even use like passion fruit leaves
Mhm,
and so on. It's good for mental health,
mhm.
to the restoration and maintaining of good mental health.
Right.
So,
Off the bat though, Libra, why should we choose natural herbs?
well, we should choose natural herbs because of the fact that um, the natural herbs basically have no side effects. and that is the most important thing. And also the fact that when you are basically doing the thing that God says that you're supposed to do. Psalm 104 and verse 14 says that the herbs are for the service of mankind. And Revelation 22 and verse 2 says that the herbs are for the healing of the nation.
Yes.
And so, since herbs are there for the service of mankind and for the healing of the nation, you notice that it didn't say drugs or things like those are for the healing of the nations, the herbs.
Yeah.
The leaves of the tree, Revelation 22 2 says, are for the healing of the nation.
Right.
And also the fact that when you use one herb, you find that you might use it, for example, for mental health,
Right.
but it is also good for your joints,
Yes.
and it is also good for your urinary tract.
Right.
It is also it is used. The one herb can be used for a number of things,
Right.
because that is how God made it. And so you use for mental health, use for the joints, you use for the urinary tract. It might be used for high blood pressure, it might be used for diabetes, and it can be used for a number of things. And sometimes when you use this one herb, you find that you didn't even realize that you have a particular problem, until you realize that you are walking better, and and that there's a little pep in your step,
Yes.
and you find that, oh, I didn't this happens as a result of me taking this particular herb.
Yes.
So the herbs are really and truly for the service of man and the healing of the nation.
Yes. Good evening, Mr. Absalom.
Captain Rick.
Blessings. Yes, Captain Rick. Good evening. Welcome. Yes, Nebert, and just to support what you just said, one of the reasons, main reasons, as you are saying in a nutshell, it takes a holistic approach. So this is what the herbs do. So unlike conventional medicine that often target just one single symptom, herbal remedies, they address the underlying causes and also promote overall long-term wellness.
Right. And in addition to that, when you take drugs,
Mhm.
you probably are going to need to take a number of other drugs
Right.
with that, because you find that it usually causes problems.
Right.
So you have to, if you take something for if you have sinusitis, you find that it bring on stuffy nose. So you have to take something for stuffy nose. You find that it does something for it gives stoppage of water. So you have to take something for stoppage of water.
Exactly.
And then, but every drug that you take, you notice there are probably two or three other things that happen to your body as a result. So when you go to the doctor, you find that they give you a number of herbs for of drugs for one thing, because the drug cause a lot of other things to happen, but
Right.
not so with herbs.
Right.
Not
Right.
so with herbs.
So because there for some persons you might have side effects depending, but there are fewer side effects
Yeah, and
with the
this
herbs.
yes, the side effect comes may result because you don't like sometimes we ask questions
Mhm.
like I cause there are some persons who are allergic
Right,
to
like
certain herbs,
ribs and so
right?
on. So
And the
depends.
length of time that the person might take it,
Mhm.
because there are some herbs that when you prepare it for somebody, you have to prepare it within a certain you have to use a certain amount, and they take it for a certain amount of time.
Time, right?
Some persons love to take things for unlimited time.
Right.
So it's a certain amount of time that you take it. So if you go beyond that time, find that you might have problem, or if you overdose, like if you use, for example, noni, and if you take the ripe fruit and you let it drain, usually we say take a teaspoon, but there are some persons who take a tablespoon or two tablespoon or three
Right.
tablespoon, because they believe that the more you take, it is the better it is going to be. But because you spend time causing the problem, you have to spend time fixing the problem as well.
Yes,
And so
absolutely.
it does not happen miraculously at
Mm,
once. You
mm,
have to break it back down
mhm.
slowly, because your body would have gotten used to um, being um, being a certain type of way. For example, if you have high blood pressure or if you have diabetes, say you have high blood pressure, um, you you don't just bring your pressure down suddenly. You have to do it in
Gradually.
increments, gradually.
Mhm.
Because if you bring it down suddenly, then you're probably going to feel dizzy and other things are going to happen to you.
Yeah.
So you have to bring it down gradually.
Mhm.
Same thing with diabetes as well. If your blood sugar levels at a certain place, you have to bring it down gradually. You can't bring it down suddenly at once.
Mhm.
And so there are some persons who feel that if they have spent a lot of time building a wall, then it's just one strike and all the wall come down. But that's not the case. You have to you build it up
Exactly.
brick by brick, so you have to take it back
Exactly.
down in a similar way, brick by brick.
Yeah.
You know,
And that's a good analogy because when you build a wall, it's not just the concrete that goes into the building the wall. There are other
right,
things that are.
right,
So to tear it down, you have to the outside layer,
right,
then the inside, and then you
right.
gradually take down those
Yes,
other things.
yes,
All right.
yes. Thank
Just
you for watching us, Captain Rick, on big screen.
like the movies,
Yes,
right? So, uh,
Captain Rick and Mrs. Rick, Mrs.
yes.
Captain Rick.
So
Sharon, yes.
you have to spend the time to do the repair work,
Yes,
right?
yes,
Because
I've spent time to do
we
repair.
spend a long time, as you
Mhm.
say, damaging our bodies. We have to spend the time to repair it,
Right,
and not only that, in repairing it too, there are some things that we have to drop off. Like for example, we have to make some amendment to our diet
right.
because these are
Yes,
the things in the
yes,
first place that
yes,
cause us to
yes.
be sick.
Because you find that in some instances you don't need herbs.
You just need to
It's
change your
some
diet.
in some instances you need to change the diet or stop doing something.
But then,
Um,
but then you're going to need herbs
if
because
it is
for culinary.
if it reaches a place where if you stop doing the thing, then
Mm,
for example an organ is damaged,
mhm,
then you might need herbs to repair it. But
mhm.
many times you just need to stop doing what you're doing. For example,
Yes,
if you are
especially if it's not
right,
far gone.
right.
Mhm.
If for example, if you're not following the 8 laws of health,
Right. Just
um,
follow the laws
just
of
follow
health.
the. If you sleep too much, they will tell you to sleep less, or if you drink too much water, we might tell you to drink a little bit less, because there are times when you might consume too much,
Mhm.
um, and we just tell you to stay within a certain limit,
Right.
so that it can be better. Many times, persons don't need herbs.
Mhm.
You just need to find the cause of the problem and fix the cause.
Right.
Just what is it? Just try to remember what is it that I am doing now that I wasn't doing before.
Mhm.
Yes, and then you fix that, and
Yeah.
then the problem is solved.
Another reason why you should choose natural herbs is that it's accessible and affordable.
Yeah.
Accessibility and affordable. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Mr. Absalom.
Yeah.
Captain Rick. Yes.
Yeah.
And I have some special information for our ladies this afternoon
Yes.
as well.
Yes.
So,
And we might not repeat exactly what you say, Captain Rick, because we might not have that belief.
right.
So we might not
Excuse me.
repeat everything, but a very special good afternoon to Mrs. Absalom, Mrs. Sharon Absalom, and to all the ladies who are watching. A special good afternoon
Yes.
to you this
Yes.
as you watch this
Thank you.
program.
Thank you very much. All right. So, herbs can be easily incorporated into our daily meals, or, you can have your teas and your tinctures and so on. And these are at a lower cost, right? So, one of the reasons you are to choose the natural herbs is because of the accessibility and affordability. No,
Yeah, because many times herbs are
herbs
growing in
are
the
right in the
backyard,
right are
right?
usually in your
Or
backyard.
your front yard or your side yard. They're just in your yard.
Either yours or your neighbors,
Yeah.
right. And another thing is empowerment. And a lot of persons may not consider this, but it is important because why you should choose natural herbs too, because it empowers you. Why? Because using the herbs allow you to take an active and proactive role in your own health and self-care. And these days when people talk about self-care, they may say they go to the spa and all of that. But self care is also taking care of your health in terms of what you put in your bodies and, what you eat, what you drink, and all of that. So, that too in itself is self care. All
Right.
right.
One of the things we normally say at the top of the program is 1 Corinthians 10 verse 31. Whether therefore eat or drink or whatsoever you do, do all to the glory of God. And so that particular text, 1 Corinthians 10 verse 31, is very important,
Yeah,
because it's you are in support of your health.
you
So
are.
everything you do, it has to be something that God sanctioned,
Yes.
that God can sanction it. If you're
Mhm.
doing it and God can sanction it, you're in big trouble.
Yes. And we always give you a word of caution. And as we state in our at the top of the program in our introduction, is that there are some things that you have to consider too. Natural does not mean it is risk free, because there are other factors that you have to take into
Yes.
consideration. Herbs are biologically active substances and they can interact with, for example, conventional or over the counter medications, and may not for everyone at that particular time. Always, always consult your health care professional before herbal regime. All right, particularly if you are pregnant, if you're nursing, or if you have pre existing medical conditions. If you are taking the conventional medications, you definitely need to consult with healthcare professional.
Mhm.
And then you have to do this to prevent you from getting worse or compounding your issue. All right. It is very important that you take these things into consideration and you follow the instructions. Now, Nebert will tell you that when he gives you or when he suggests that you use a particular herb, he will give you instructions on herbs,
Yeah.
how to use it, how often to use it. And before he even does, what he'll do, have that interview with you, right? To ascertain if you are taking any medications, the type
Right.
of medication, what
Right.
those medications,
Right.
and then you can go from there. So
Right.
it is important that you are honest your
Yes.
in your
Yes.
yes,
Very important to be
very
honest,
very
because
important.
um, if once you're taking medication, then we might say to you, if you're taking any type of drugs, is either you do one day cut down on the amount, the
Mhm.
amount of drugs that you're taking. But it depends on what is happening to you.
Right,
All right.
that's very
So
important.
it is important, yeah, we have that discussion.
Yes.
It depends on what is happening. We will decide to treat with it. It is usually not a one size fit all. All
Right.
right, we do it person by person, made, and then we hope that you follow the decision, follow whatever I said, so that you can get maximum help,
Yeah.
maximum support.
Right.
Yeah.
So there are some I want to discuss with you um in this segment, share with you some of the special herbs and some herbs that as women men, herbs during pregnancy, herbs at childbirth, herbs for mothers, herbs for infant care, and also some caution, review the cautions, um, herbs, and as if we have time, some herbal tonic. All right, so I'm going to just share some herbs with you, and how you can probably use them where they are different. I'll just give you some background onto as to they are used and how long they are being used and so on. So, for example, ashwagandha. Ashwagandha is one of those help to reduce stress and anxiety. All right, so it is classified as one of those apta herbs. All right, so ashwagandha is one of herbs. Now you can use the root ashwagandha. In some places they call it, all right, and there is scientific name that is that the scientific name is Withania omnifera. Root, in India they use the root, and it is rejuvenative herb, as highly as maybe ginseng. Chinese use a lot of ginseng in Chinese medicine. So among other properties, it helps weak and is said to stabilize embryo. It acts the heart recommended for fertility, both in men and women, and conception at ashwagandha, and that is very important. It is one of those, as we said, it is adaptogenic, and it reduces and anxiety and also fatigue. A lot of times, it's it's recommended that you can use this because pregnant women go a lot of stress. Your bodies go under a lot of stress, and you suffer from anxiety and fatigue at that time. So it reduces these conditions. That is one of the special herbs that you can use as a woman when you are pregnant. All right. Bayberry is another one. And these is also is what I'm mentioning here. The scientific name for it is Myrica cerifera. Right? So you can use them. Yes, Carol. And it was given by God. Yes, it was given by God. And it's a natural. See, a lot of times, women are pregnant and so much, and they go to their OBGYN, and they are prescribed many. They are they are prescribed by you trying to pronounce that word. And we discover that you don't say, you don't do the word, you call the letters, right? Yeah, always find that very right. So it is given by God, and these are things that we are to use, especially during this time. It will not harm the baby. Thank you for that reminder. It was given. Yes, and all these herbs, as I said, for the root, you can use the douche for prolapse of the excessive men bleeding, vaginal infections, and chorea. Use this with these problems. So prolapse of the uterus, excessive menstrual bleeding, vaginal infections, leukorrhea. All right, so you can use a root. Um, you use it to do that. All right, is important as well. Very, very, very important. Okay. So also you have beetroot, and the scientific name for beetroot is Trillium pendulum, and this is another root that you can use as a tincture, and you take 1 to 2 teaspoons 3 times daily, or fluid extract half teaspoon 3 times daily. All right, excessive uterine bleeding, this is, you can assist with that. Menorrhea or menorrhagia and metorrhagia as well. These control excessive menstruation and vaginal discharges. And these are the things that you can use to assist with this. All right. So that's beetroot. All right. And I just want to pause here for a while and just ask this good friend of ours to just come into the camera right here. Just come right here. This gentleman here, our teacher.
Brother Frisco.
This is Brother Frisco. Welcome, Brother Frisco.
Blessings.
I just hope that your students are doing well.
Yes.
Welcome. Well, nice to have you in studio with us this afternoon. Right. So these are some of the herbs that we can use. Also, I'm going to be naming a few more, like for example the black cohosh. Now we just looked at 3 Nebert, and we looked at the root of these herbs. So that's just
Yeah.
to let our listeners and viewers know again. This ashwagandha, or winter cherry it's called in some areas, the bayberry, and beetroot. Now these are especially good for women, and we're focusing on the women this evening.
Yeah, and just to clarify, when we speak of root,
Mhm.
we speak of something that is called rhizome.
Rhizome. Mhm.
It's the section immediately um, under the soil. It is a section where the food is stored
Mhm.
and transported to the rest of the plant. It is
Mhm.
called the rhizome. It is there that all of the medicine is stored.
Yeah.
And so to get the maximum use of the herbs, some herbs, then it is best that we identify the rhizome and to know where the rhizome is, and then use this instead of using the entire root system. Sometimes you have to take off the smaller roots,
Mhm.
the smaller ones, in order to get the maximum from
Mhm.
the rhizome section of it.
Yeah. And the black cohosh, now we are looking at the rhizome.
The rhizome,
Right. So
yes.
the tincture,
Yeah.
you can use a half to 1 teaspoon 3 times daily, or the fluid extract of 5 to 30 drops. So you have it in that little bottle there with the drop, and you do this 3 times daily. Now, American, as we have told you before, most of these studies come out of America. So when you hear we mention America, it's because that's where the study was done. American Indian women use it for all female complaints like pelvic conditions, uterine problems, cramps, and to relieve pain at childbirth and menstrual cycles as well. Now, it helps induce menstrual flow that has been retarded by exposure to cold. Now, there is a warning in using black cohosh. An overdose will produce nausea and vomiting. So, as Nebert was explaining earlier, it is important that you follow the instructions, because just as you get the conventional medicine with the instructions,
Mm.
how much to take and how often to take it is the same procedure with the herbal remedies as well. All
Right.
right.
Um, you're talking about the black wash.
Yes, the black
All right,
coach.
the black wash. In Jamaica, because sometimes we can't get a hold of the black
Black
wash
coach.
because, as they were saying before, it is persons basically in the United States or Canada might have easier access, even though you can get it in Jamaica from a health food store. But there is one that has the same properties that you can find almost anywhere in Jamaica, and it is known as the shepherd's purse. All right, the shepherd's purse. Now you can find the shepherd's purse almost anywhere, but most of the time you see it at the roadside, and so it has the same properties and is used for the same purpose as the
Purpose.
black wash.
Right. So, whatever herbs I may mention, and most times you can have it, you can find it here, and most times you may not. But Niebuhr can give us the alternative for the herb here in our neck of the woods. Now, another one is black haw. I am not so familiar with this one, but the properties are good as well for like afterbirth pains, cramps, and so on. And you can take the bark of the root and use it as a tincture, and you do half to 1 teaspoon 3 times daily, or you can do the fluid extract, half to 2 teaspoon 3 times daily. Now, afterbirth pains, cramps, um, dys- dysmenorrhea, irregular menstrual flow, leukorrhea, uterine inflammation, congestion, scanty menstrual flow, and the threatening of a miscarriage. Now, it is a tonic and sedative to the female reproductive organs, and it gives a good tonic effect during pregnancy.
Yes. Um, there was a point in time in Jamaica where we had a lot of persons who went around in the communities. We call them community health aides,
Indeed,
and they
yeah.
would go from house to house to deliver babies and so on. Um, Nowadays, people rush to the hospital to deliver babies, but once upon a time, babies in Jamaica were born at home. And those persons used to know the herbs that you would use, the Jamaican equivalent of the herbs that you would use to expel the afterbirth and all of those things that are associated with giving with childbirth, and also if you're having other problems in pregnancy and so on. And some of those herbs are um, available even now. And well, all of those herbs are available even now. And you can, we can even tell you some of them because some of them are at your house, at your home. For example, there's one that we call the Jamaican oregano, um, that the French thyme. The other name is, the popular name is French
French
thyme.
time.
Persons use it when they're cooking soup and so on, and
Nice flavor.
that is one of the things that
And for
helps
tea.
to, right. It helps to expel the afterbirth. So you use that in combination with other herbs like jacknabush and other herbs like pepper elder, and they would make something like, they put all of these herbs together in a big pan, boil them, and ask the person who have just given birth to stoop over it and so on, so that the afterbirth can be expelled and so on. So there are a lot of herbs. It is just a combination of different types of herbs that these community health aides used to use. And they what one of the things you find is that they used to have follow-up visits, and the birth rate used to be excellent, and you didn't have a lot of afterbirth deaths, like what is happening now when persons go to the hospital. And so those community health aides did a magnificent job.
Yeah. Sadly, it is being discouraged the home births are being discouraged.
Yeah.
Another, we looked at the black cohosh earlier. Now we're going to be looking at the blue cohosh. Now the rhizome is what we are concentrating on, and you can do a tincture, half to 1 teaspoon 3 times daily, or the fluid extract again, 10 to 30 drops 3 times daily as well. Now, this is used to ease childbirth and relieve associated pains of childbirth, right? It regulates menstrual flow, and it is useful for suppressed menstruation. Now, pregnant women, this is a word of caution. Pregnant women should not use except during the last month of pregnancy. All right? And that is very important. Another popular one, Nebert, is the chamomile. And this one you use the flowers of the chamomile.
Yeah.
And you can use it as a tincture. Do 30 to 60 drops, half to 1 teaspoon, and this is 3 times daily, or you use the fluid extract, a half to 1 teaspoon 3 times daily as well.
Yes.
And this is good for menstrual cramps, and you can also use it as an infusion, you know. This is very calming. It's a
Right.
calming tea.
Right.
So this is very calming.
Right.
And persons who suffer from
Insomnia.
insomnia, right? Insomnia also uses this. It calms your muscles, it relaxes your muscles, and keep the stress and fatigue.
It works with your
and
nervous system.
anxiety out of your body. So it is also one of those herbs that we can use.
Yeah. There not many persons in Jamaica are able to find this herb. In the other Caribbean, I noticed that in the other Caribbean islands, it grows wild, but it is not readily available in Jamaica. This is the chamomile.
Yes.
But there are other herbs that you can use to substitute the chamomile. For example, the flowers of the Spanish needle does the same job. The flowers of the Spanish needle does the same job. Causes you to relax, works on your nervous system, and helps you to sleep as well. It has a soothing and calming effect. Also, the passion fruit leaf has a calming effect as well. The piaba does that as well. Jamaican know what piaba is. We have even written songs about piaba. Man piaba, woman piaba, and so on. So you have herbs in Jamaica that can be used as substitute to chamomile. Number one, Spanish needle flowers. Number two, passion fruit leaves. Passion fruit flowers can also be used, and the piaba can be used as well.
Yes, and there is something interesting. When we were doing the program on the harvesting of these herbs,
Right.
what I recognize is that for certain plants or for certain of these herbs, it is a particular part of the herb that you use for certain things.
Yeah.
All right. And we just mentioned the chamomile. And then the substitutes, it is not it is the chamomile flower that you use.
Yeah.
For the substitutes, it is the flower that you use.
Yes. Yeah.
And that is also important.
Yes.
There are some that you use the root, the rhizome, but there are some that you use the flower, and
Right.
it is important that you know. Remember when we were telling you that to do the harvesting and the storage of these things, they are very important.
Yeah.
And you have to know which part of the plant to use for the particular
Purpose.
ailment.
Yes.
Because
purpose.
you may overdose or
Yes.
poison yourself.
Right.
So it is very important.
It's very important to know this because in some plants In some plants, there are the different parts of the plant works for does different things. Some plants it's the root that you need. Some plant it is section above the ground that you need. But some it is just the flowers. Some it is just the leaves.
Yes.
So in many times it is not the entire plant that you use to cure a particular problem.
Yes.
And so you have to know what to use to cure what
Mhm.
problems that you have.
Right.
And in the harvesting of these plants, now you have to know when to harvest
Right.
and how to harvest, when and how, and also how to store as well,
Mhm.
and how to dry them and how to store them.
Mhm.
If you notice that we have been talking about the tinctures of some of them, the tinctures mean sometimes to get the liquid out of the plant. And so sometimes you might put it in a what we call in Jamaica a mortar, and you beat the herbs to
Mhm.
and until you're able to extract the juice.
Mhm.
Some people put it in a piece of cloth and use a hammer and knock it until the juice comes. You squeeze out the juice, you strain it and use it. Some persons is, as I said before, it's a mortar, but the juice of the plant works in some instances, but many persons know about boiling herbs,
Boiling herbs.
right? But it is not always the boiling that you use.
Right.
It is the tincture, and
And
you'll
the
be amazed at the results that you will get if you were to use a
yeah.
tincture as opposed to boil.
And the dosage kind of give it away.
Right, and then when you use the tincture now, it is very strong,
Mhm.
so you don't right,
Immediate. Yes.
and because it is a liquid, it goes directly to your blood cell.
Mhm.
It doesn't stay a long time in your stomach.
Right.
So this is very important to know. For example, take for example a herb. Many persons know the
Mhm.
Medina herb.
Yeah.
Many so when many persons are using it, they boil it. But then if you were to extract the juice from the Medina, it is a totally different thing
Right.
that you will get. If you were to use the tincture as opposed to boiling it, now the tincture is very strong, and so you can't take a lot from it. You have to take a certain amount,
Mhm.
um, and so you have to know how to use these herbs
Yes.
and what to use them for.
Right. Good evening, LP, and yes, Carol. Thank you very, very, very much, and I hope you have been having a wonderful day, and all the ladies out there as well. Now we're going to be looking at chaste tree. Now some persons say chaste or chaste, yes, but it's the same chaste tree. The scientific name for this is Vitex angus castus. Now, and this for this herb Nebert, we're looking at the seeds. All right, so this is a Medi- Mediterranean, right, shrub, and it stimulates and balances the pituitary um, in relation to female hormones by its effect in the follicle stimulating hormone. So that's FSH, and the luteinizing hormone, which is LH. Now, these are produced by the anterior pituitary gland. It helps the work of producing hormones in the second half of the menstrual cycle. It appears to have a more aggressive, more, sorry, um, progesteronic than, est- than estrogenic action, and it makes a fine remedy for PMS and a range of menstrual and gynecological problems that are related for irregular and painful periods, heavy bleeding, fibroids, and to re-establish hormone balance after stopping use of the contraceptive pill. It is also a good remedy for menopausal problems, and stimulates milk production in nursing mothers. Because it has milk production, because it has a calming and relaxing effect, it can be used for any emotional stress associated with the reproductive system, such as PMS and menopausal depression as well. So this is one of those other herbs that is calming and helps with fatigue and stress and anxiety as well. Right, and it also the piaba it can be substituted for this too because it helps with menopausal problems as well. Now there is another one that is called cramp bark, and of course you use the bark for this. Good evening, Terry. Welcome. Nice to have you on. So the cramp bark, you do a tincture as well, and it's half to 1 teaspoon 3 to 4 times daily, or the fluid extract half to 2 teaspoon 3 to 4 times daily as well. Now this helps in menstrual cramps, um, dysmenorrhea, menorrhagia, menorrhagia, nervous conditions during pregnancy, and it also helps to prevent miscarriages. All right, so this is another herb that you can use. And this other one, it's called donkey or donkwai,
Donkey.
donkey,
Mm.
and you use the root for this one as well. Now, this is a Chinese herb, and it is a herb for women, and is the most highly valued blood tonic in the East. In the East. Now, it tones the reproductive system and maintains normal function of the sex organs. It regulates hormones, menstruation, brings on delayed or suppressed periods. It relieves menstrual cramps and can be used during menopause as well. Now, it can be eaten raw or taken as a tincture. It relaxes the uterus. Used with water, it tones the uterus, it stimulates uterine contractions as well, and increases circulation. It also relieves congestion um, in the pelvic area as well. It can also be used as a tonic.
Yeah. One of the things you notice, and something we said at the top of the program, that um, as opposed to using drugs, herbs many times does more than one thing
Yes.
when you put it in your body.
Right.
You find that it does not only heal a particular issue that you have, but it heals other things as well. You notice that this one herb that we're just talking about, yes, the donkey does a lot of things. Yes, the donkey, it does a lot of things. And the donkey can be found here in Jamaica. Um, it is not a common herb, however, because it grows in the cooler regions of Jamaica. But you can find it here. But it is, as David said before, it's a Chinese herb, and it grows prolifically in the Asian region. Right? And so because it grows prolifically in the Asian region, you find that a number of persons in those regions use it. The Chinese use it a lot. But it is important that if you were to follow that, then you have to know exactly how to apply it. And Debbie has been telling you how to use it. You use a tincture, and the tincture comes from you use the tincture directly from the rhizome. The rhizome is a section that is immediately below the soil. Um, so the upper section, a section that is immediately below the soil, and it is usually fatter than the other root section of the plant that you have. It looks like it is pregnant. And so it, because it has a lot of medicine stored in
Mhm.
this particular area.
Yes. As I was saying, the tuniper, it can be used as a tonic. No, it is used in convals convalescence and to speed recovery and increase energy after childbirth. Now, when it is cooked, it improves the circulation and helps speed up tissue repair. All right. Now, it is after childbirth. So, the warning is do not take during pregnancy. This is after childbirth. All right. It is very important for you to understand that and to know that. Very, very important.
Nashani,
Nashani, good,
Nashani Jarrett,
yes,
yes.
good evening and
Works
welcome,
at Texaco
and a
in
pleasant
White
evening
River.
to you too.
It's good to have
Yes,
you on, Nashani.
yes, nice to have you on. Right. So, as Niebert was saying, these herbs they are used for more than one purposes, and you may take it for a particular problem, and you find that you had another issue, and that same herb work for
Right.
that issue as well.
You find that you have a cold and
Yeah.
you take it for the cold, but you didn't know that it would also relieve your back pain or your
Yes,
joint pains,
yes,
or
yes.
how you find that it increase it helps your urinary tract as
Mm-hmm.
well. So
Right.
so one herb does a number of things,
Mm-hmm.
and it is all good unless you have allergies. So it is
Right.
important to identify the allergies to know whether or not you are allergic to a particular thing, because
Very important.
yeah, it's very important to know this, so that if you were to go to somebody who deals with the herbs, then you can say, I'm allergic to this, I'm allergic
Mm-hmm.
to zinc, I'm allergic to this particular thing, or that particular
Mm-hmm.
thing. Just
Right.
like how you would go to the medical doctor and tell them that you have an allergic reaction to
Exactly.
penicillin, and
Exactly.
so you have to say exactly what you are allergic to,
Mm-hmm.
and then we can work around it. Even though in herbs we have things like charcoal if you're poisoned and so on that they can use, or you might even use, some persons prefer to use busy
Busy.
and so on,
Mm-hmm.
but we would prefer that you don't do the thing that cause an allergic reaction.
Right. Right. And there's another herb too, called false unicorn. Now you use the root of this herb and you do a tincture, and you can do 15 to 30 drops 3 times daily, or the fluid extract half to 1 teaspoon 3 times daily as well. All right. So amenorrhea, female hormone imbalances, infertility, irregular menstruation, leukorrhea, um, menorrhagia, miscarriage, prolapse uterus, threatened abortion, uterine and ovarian problems, uterine displacement. Now, false unicorn is a common herb for female infertility, impotence, and other problems. It can be taken for several months, generally combined with cramp bark or black haw, as we those two we mentioned before, but can be taken alone as well. Now, during especially difficult situations, 15 drops of tincture or half teaspoon of fluid extract can be taken each hour. All right? It is important that you do not infuse with true unicorn herb. So this one is the false unicorn, and you are not to use it with on other herbs. All right?
Yeah, because there are some herbs like that, they stand alone, and so
Yes.
you use it by itself.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Motherworth is
Mhm.
another one. And you use the tops,
Mhm.
the top part, yes,
This section above
above the
above the
herb,
earth, yes.
right? So all the
we passed
tops,
it downstairs when we were coming up.
leaves, flowers,
Mother's Worth, yes.
right.
Mhm.
So
Our Mother Worth.
not the rhizome or
Mm.
the root, everything above the earth. So you can use a tincture of 30 to 60 drops or half to 1 teaspoon 3 to 4 times daily, or of course the fluid extract, half teaspoon to 1 teaspoon 3 to 4 times daily. Now, and you may recognize that I'm repeating some of these conditions because this is how the herbs work. All right, so amenorrhea, suppressed menstruation, cramps, dysmenorrhea, urine pains. Now, uterine pains, I should say, for female cramping and suppressed menstruation flow. What you're going to do is to combine motherwort with cramp bark and squaw vine. These now to relieve cramps and pain during menstruation, use a hot fermentation made from this strong tea, and this will give you some relief. All right, another one, Nebert, is the mugwort, and you use the tops now. So we have looked at the root, the rhizome, and we are looking at the tops for these few herbs that I'm mentioning now.
Yeah, the section above the earth.
Right. And this is mugwort. Now,
And this is not to be confused with Mother's
with
Worth.
motherwort,
Right.
yes. So motherwort
Motherwort
is
and
different
from
from
mugwort,
mugwort.
yeah.
All right, mugwort
Yes.
rather. All right, so it's motherwort and mugwort.
Mhm.
Now for the mugwort, again you use the top, everything above the earth. Tincture 30 to 60 drops or half to 1 teaspoon, and you do this as needed. Also, you can use the fluid extract 1 teaspoon as needed. And this is good for menstrual cramps, menstrual obstruction, suppressed menstruation, and it is best combined with cramp bark, marigold, and black haw. All right, and these are a couple of these we mentioned before. All right, and we have pennyroyal, and this is the American pennyroyal. And of course, we are using the tops again, the top parts of this herb. Make a tincture of 30 to 60 drops, 1/2 to 1 teaspoon, and this you're going to do frequently. The mugwort you do as needed. Now for the pennyroyal, you are going to do it frequently. So this one you will not, it won't bother you. All right, so you're doing this frequently. Now, delayed, this is good for delayed or scanty menstruation, cramps, it regulates menstrual flow, all right, and to induce menstrual flow. What you're going to do this, you're going to use hot foot baths of the pennyroyal tea. So you're going to you're going to draw it or boil it, steep it, and you're going to use this. So you're going to use it as a hot foot bath.
Yes.
And you're going to do this as frequently as needed. All right.
Pennyroyal
Mm-hmm.
is one of those herbs that is used a lot here in Jamaica. But it is one of those forgotten herbs. A number of persons don't seem to know
It's a long time I
pennyroyal.
haven't heard anybody spoke about pennyroyal.
Right. I have it at home. I actually plant it. I actually plant pennyroyal. I have recently I made sure that it did not die because it's easy to die, especially now the hot time. So I make sure I give it generous amount of water. Pennyroyal is such an important herb that you have to protect it and keep it safe because it is very useful.
Yeah.
Pennyroyal plant. Yeah.
All right, and there's this other one called the pulsatilla. All right, and this is the flower. This is a flower. Now, You're going to use the dried aerial parts, and it means, well, it's everything above the earth, above the ground. Now, it's best used in small doses, 1 to 2 milliliter of tincture, or half a teaspoon of the herb to a cup of boiling water. And you're going to use this as tea. And you're going to have this 3 times daily when necessary. Now, helps debilitated women and children who feel depressed, irritable, and who weep easily or cries easily.
Yeah, you notice that most of the herbs that we're mentioning now are herbs that has to do with the 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 system that is a part of your bone structure that starts in your cerebellum, go on,
Nervous system.
your nervous system, right? Most of these herbs has to do with your nervous system, and so you have to be very careful when you are applying anything or any herb to do with your nervous system, because you don't want to damage the nerve
The
endings.
nerve,
The nerve
the
endings.
dosage is very
Yeah. The
important.
dosage is very important. And so you have to follow the instructions very carefully when you are using these nerves herbs. And so, as we said before, there are some persons who love to take a lot. You have to take the amount that has been prescribed.
Prescribed.
Right?
Yes.
Don't take a lot because you damage the nerve endings. This is very
Yes.
important.
Very
And
important.
it is the tincture that you're using that it means that you are extracting the juice.
Mhm.
You are not boiling it. All right. So the tincture is very strong, very, very strong, because it is a juice that comes directly from the
From
plant.
the plant.
Right.
Yes. So it promotes sleep and rest, and therapy helps recuperation. It is particularly helpful for spasm, pain, and inflammation of the reproductive system. It relieves premenstrual tension, period pains, scanty or suppressed periods, uterine colic, and inflammation and pain in the ovaries. It's analgesic,
Analgesic.
yeah,
Yeah.
analgesic.
Mm.
It's pain, that means it's pain relieving.
Mm.
It has that pain relieving property. These are useful during childbirth as well.
Yeah.
Its properties promote and facilitate birth.
Mm.
It is good for sluggish, infectual, and weak labor pains,
Mm.
and for peevishness and irritability in labor, when a woman is in labor. After the birth, it is helpful for overexcitement, depression, and anxiety about the birth of the new baby.
Yes.
So it helps to calm you down as well.
Yes.
And
I
there's
should
a
point out.
warning.
Yeah.
There's a warning. Never use this plant fresh, for it will be poisonous at that time. Do not store it for more than 1 year. It
Mm.
is very important.
Mhm.
Yes. Mhm. You were saying.
Yeah. Could you go over it again for me,
All
please?
right.
I want you to go over it because
Right.
there's
So,
something in it that you're saying that needed to comment on.
all
But
right. All right. So it is the pulsatilla,
Mhm.
that the plant, and this is the this is it's used in small doses.
Mhm.
Now, it is particularly helpful for spasm,
Mhm.
like spasm, pain,
Mhm.
and inflammation of the
Mhm.
reproductive system.
Right.
It relieves premenstrual tension,
Right.
period pains,
Mhm.
scanty or suppressed periods.
Mhm.
It helps with that. Uterine colic,
Mhm.
and inflammation and pain in the ovaries. and it's analgesic, and that's the pain relieving properties.
Mhm.
These are useful during childbirth. Its properties promote and facilitate birth. It is good for sluggish, ineffectual, and weak labor pains, and for peevishness and irritability in labor. Now, after the birth, it is helpful for overexcitement, depression, and anxiety about the birth of the new baby. So there is a condition, Neighbor, that they call like
Postnatal.
postnatal,
Mhm.
right? I suppose it would help in that condition as well,
Mhm.
because it speaks to overexcitement or depression, and some mothers get depressed after the birth of the baby,
Yeah.
so much so that they don't want to even see the baby,
Yeah.
so,
Yeah.
and anxiety about the new baby. And remember, it is important that you don't use this plant fresh, or you don't use it after you have been storing it for a year, right?
Mhm.
So it is important because it can be poisonous. And remember, you were saying earlier, when we're harvesting these plants, we have to know when to harvest them
Right.
too, because that is important
Very
as well.
important. I'm thinking of three herbs
Mm-hmm.
that has similar qualities.
Mm-hmm.
I'm thinking of the blessed thistle, also the milk thistle. Blessed thistle and milk thistle, slightly different colors of the blossoms. So you have the
Mm-hmm.
blessed thistle and the milk thistle. Um, it
Same
can
properties
can
as
be
the
used here,
poinsettia.
same properties.
Mm-hmm.
The similar properties to two that we named before, shepherd's purse and piaba,
Mm-hmm.
similar properties as well. And so these can be used as a substitute, and these can be found in Jamaica
Mm-hmm. Right.
easily.
Yes. And sometimes Nebert say easily, and he knows where to find these things, because when you are doing this thing for a while, you know the herbs so well that you know where to go to find them. For some of us, Nebert, it is not
So easy.
so easy.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
you can make the contact, and you can get the assistance that you want. Saw palmetto. Saw palmetto is another herb, and you use the fruit of this herb.
Mhm.
Now, as a tincture, 15 to 60 drops 2 to 3 times daily, or fluid extract. And for the fluid extract, you use 10 drops 2 to 3 times daily. Ovarian enlargement, dysmenorrhea, sterility.
Mhm.
No, these are some of the conditions that this is very
Right.
useful for.
That's the section for women,
Right.
because this is one of the main herbs for men and prostate.
Yes.
For the prostate.
Right.
The saltpot metal. Um, in Jamaica, we attach it to the it's a part of the palm family.
Mhm.
This herb is a part of the palm family. And in particular, that it is very similar to the touch that we use to make brooms. Those straw brooms. It
Mhm.
is very similar to the touch that we use to make these brooms in Jamaica. Very, very similar. And the fruits are actually very nice to eat.
Mm.
And so I'm thinking of a place right now in Rhinover, Rhinover St. Mary, where you can go to get it. And also in Galena St.
Mhm.
Mary, that you can go to get it. And saw palmetto, and it's a part of the Touch family,
Yeah.
and it has the fruits, and the fruits are all part of the fruit. Some persons use the flesh, and some persons use the seed, um, and to get a tincture from it, and some persons boil it as well. So
Mhm.
so I'm thinking of a few places that you can go to find it.
Okay. And
Saw
as
palmetto.
as Nebert mentioned, it is very useful in the
Yes.
treatment of disease in the
Yes.
reproductive organs.
And men use it for the prostate
Prostate.
problem because it is the number one herb for prostate.
Yes.
So if your prostate is swollen or your prostate cancer,
Mm.
this is the number one herb.
Mm.
But as you notice that we're dealing with women, and it is extremely good to be used in women for women problems as well. So you find that this cuts across the male female barrier. This one herb, the saw palmetto.
Yes.
Yeah.
It also helps to speed up recovery afterward, like after childbirth. It also increases milk flow in nursing mothers. It helps relieve painful periods. It regulates the menstrual cycle, and for inflammatory conditions such as salpingitis and ovarian pain. So this is a very useful herb, and as
Mhm.
Nebert said, it cuts across the male-female barrier, and it is very, very useful. And we are looking at women today, and most of these herbs that we have looked at so far, you notice, as I said, we are repeating some of the conditions because no one herb, no herb treats just one condition.
Mhm.
All right.
Yeah.
There are some herbs that you have, they are standalone herb,
Right.
but it treats other conditions
Right.
as well.
Yeah.
So there are substitutes
Yeah.
right across the
So
board.
the saw palmetto is similar to like vervain.
Mhm.
Vervain, male and female use it for different purposes.
Yes.
Yeah.
And the shatafari now, shatafari or shatafari, um, this is from the asparagus race. So it
Belong to
would
that family
look
of
right,
herb.
that family.
Mhm.
And this now you use the root of this herb.
Mhm.
Now this is one of the most important herbs for women, that the women in India, they use this a lot in India. Now its main action is on the female reproductive system. Now use it for sexual debility, infertility, and to balance hormones. It increases milk production in nursing mothers and is excellent during menopause as well because it helps with the hormone balancing, as it supplies many steroidal precursors, like building blocks for production of sex hormones. It nourishes and strengthens the reproductive system, the whole system. It is so valued in India that its name, Shatafari, means who possesses 100 husbands.
Mhm.
That's in the Indian, in India. All right, but it is a very useful herb, and they use it a lot in India. The women use it a lot in India because it helps to balance the hormone, it helps with infertility, and so on. So this is like a building blocks for the production of sex hormones.
Mhm.
So it is widely used by women in India, and it is a useful herb. Now the squaw vine, and this had the Michila repens, that's the scientific name, and you use the whole plant of the squaw vine. Now, as a tincture, you do 15 to 60 drops, 3 to 4 times daily, or fluid, the extract, you use half to 1 teaspoon, 3 to 4 times daily as well. So, leukorrhea, painful menstruation, uterine and ovarian pains, cramping, and pains before and during labor in childbirth. All right. American Indian women use squaw vine as a tea or infusion throughout pregnancy in order to produce a safe, easy delivery and help proper lactation. So it helps to produce milk, relieves congestion of the uterus and the ovaries. Very good for painful or absent menstruation. Good combined with um, raspberry, raspberry leaf during pregnancy. So you can crush the berries and add a tincture of myrrh, allow to steep for about 3 days, and then you strain it. Then
Mm.
use as a fomentation for example, for sore nipples.
Oh.
Combined with
Mhm.
witch hazel, it
Mhm.
makes a very good injection for leukorrhea.
Okay.
Yes, that's the
That's the
squaw
squaw
vine.
vine. Yeah. Mm.
Yeah.
The squaw is the American Indian name for wife, or concubine. So in Jamaica we call them common law union and so on, or common law wife. So the squaw vine is I am not sure I know what it looks like, um, but the properties that it has, you can find properties like that, similar in the ones that we have been naming, balsam piaba, um, balsam piaba, and others. So you can find that.
All right. So tormentil root. So the tormentil root, and of course, you're going to be using the root. So you use a tincture 15 to 30 drops 3 times daily, 5 to 10 drops in water every hour. Or you can use the fluid extract, half to 1 teaspoon, 3 times daily as well. And this one is good for leukorrhea and the uterus. All right, so this is also a useful one. So the white oak bark, and of course, you're going to use the bark. Now, for a tincture, you use 15 to 30 drops as needed, or the fluid, half to 1 teaspoon as needed. Now, this is one of the best astringent herbs known, outstanding for stopping bleeding, also good for vaginal infections, leukorrhea, and prolapse uterus. This is the white oak bark. Now,
Mhm.
for the witch hazel, for the witch hazel, you are going to also use the bark. So a tincture of 15 to 60 drops as needed, or fluid extract, half teaspoon as needed. Leukorrhea, prolapsed uterus, it stops uterine bleeding, and it is a powerful astringent as well as the white oak bark, right? And it's excellent for stopping excessive menstruation, hemorrhage from the uterus.
Mm.
Use as a retention douche in leukorrhea, as a fomentation or salve for sore breasts, as an injection for vaginal discharges and infections.
Okay.
So that's the witch hazel. Now the wild yam,
Mhm.
the wild yam is, and you're going to be using the root of the wild yam,
Right, but only the root, because
only the root.
the upper section, I've never seen anybody use the upper section before. So it's only the root of the wild
Wild
yam.
yam,
Mhm.
yes. So you make a tincture, 10 to 40 drops, 3 to 4 times daily,
Mhm.
or the fluid extract, 1 teaspoon, 3 to 4 times daily as well.
Mhm.
Now, for cramps, morning sickness, nausea, neuralgic dysmenorrhea, ovarian neuralgia. Wild yam contains a steroid like substance and is used in many gland balancing formulas. an excellent antispasmodic. It is used for abdominal cramps and menstrual cramps. Now, to prevent miscarriage, combine 1 teaspoon wild yam with half teaspoon powdered ginger. Who would have thought? 1 teaspoon
It's good for inflammation too.
wild yam,
Mhm.
yes,
Mhm.
with half teaspoon powdered ginger.
Mhm.
Also helpful, 1 teaspoon red raspberry to that formula. Then you're going to strain and take a mouthful every half hour in times of danger of a miscarriage. For afterbirth pains, use 10 drops of tincture in cold water. Do not use hot water, for it may overly relax uterus and cause hemorrhage. So you don't want to over relax your uterus.
Mhm.
All right, so don't use it hot, put it in cold water. Now, the wild yam is so unusual that it deserves special attention. It is a perennial twining vine, of course. The heart shaped leaves have conspicuous, deep set veins and are hairy beneath. The leaves are arranged in an alternating pattern, with the lower ones in whorls of 3 to 8. The flowers are green and they are not showy. It grows from May to August in wet woods from Connecticut to Tennessee and from Minnesota to Texas. And of course, you can find it here as well.
Yes, man. This is something that
Yes,
is in use in
in
Jamaica for
Jamaica.
a while now.
Mhm.
Wild yam.
Yes. American Indians use tea made from this root to relieve labor pains. So the fresh dried roots made into a tea is also good for morning sickness, as was mentioned. Now, wild yam contains dios, diosgenin, and this is a chemical used by scientists to manufacture progesterone uh,
Yeah,
and,
progesterone. Yes.
and other steroid
Mhm.
drugs. Now, wild yam does not contain progesterone, yet it has a beneficial progesterone like effect on the human body. A majority of the steroid hormones used in modern drug medication, especially those in contraceptives, have been developed from el- elaborately processed chemical compounds which are derived from yams. Drugs made with yam derived components are used to relieve asthma, arthritis, and eczema. They also regulate metabolism and control fertility. Synthetic products manufactured from um, diosgenins include human sex hormones, drugs to treat menopause, dysmenorrhea, premenstrual syndrome, testicular deficiency, impotency, prostate hypertrophy, and psychosexual problems, as well as high blood pressure, arterial spasms, migraines, and other ailments. Cortisones and hydrocortisones are other products from the wild yam. They
Mhm.
are used for Addison's disease, some allergies, bursitis,
Mhm.
contact dermatitis, psoriasis, rheumatoid arthritis, sciatica, brown recluse spider bites, insect stings, and a number of other diseases. But it it is also good for, as we said, your hormones.
Mhm.
All right. Now, with all this in mind, women would do well to make use of the wild yam herb.
Yeah.
All right, but do not use the fresh plant, for it may induce vomiting and other undesirable effects.
Mm.
Use the dried root.
Yeah.
And this is why it is important at the onset, it tells you where of the plant you are to use.
Yes. Um, in Jamaica, if you're doing roots,
Mhm.
because Jamaicans do a lot of roots and so on.
Mhm.
Now, this is one of the must-haves when you're doing roots
Roots.
in Jamaica.
Wild yam.
Wild yam. If you notice the properties that it has, are properties that men love, because it is very rich in niacin, rich in vitamin B6, vitamin, as a matter of fact, the B complex vitamins. It is very rich in those, and it is also analgesic. It has tannins as well, and so this is one of the herbs, or this is one of the roots that Jamaicans love to put to good use. All right, but one of the things we find is that persons don't plant it back. You don't
Oh,
plant it back, and so sometimes in the deep
it's
wild
hard to
that you find it,
find.
and it's
Mhm.
hard to find. The only way you can find it sometimes is when persons are reaping it and there are some remaining. They didn't dig up everything,
Right,
and then it's hard to get, guys. It's way below the soil.
right.
But wild yam is a sought after thing in Jamaica.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Right. So, a lot of herbs that can be used during pregnancy for different conditions that may occur during pregnancy and even outside of pregnancy, but specifically during pregnancy. There are just some that I would like to share with you. And anemia, because pregnant women need extra iron, so
Mm.
they find that they become anemic, and then sometimes these women are prescribed iron tablets and so on. So, but you can use some herbs to,
Mm.
to help in these cases. For example, anemia. Now we know that as pregnant women, they need extra iron. So, yellow dock. Now, the
Mm.
yellow dock herb, this is said to contain nearly 50% of iron. So, you can use the yellow dock root. And these are some herbs that I'm going to be sharing with you um, for women who are pregnant. Now, the blackstrap molasses.
Mm.
Now, this is the richest source of iron you can purchase. And um, I noticed that it is right there at the McDonald's supermarket. There's somebody who makes it and supplies the supermarket with it, so it's easy to get.
Yeah.
It's not hard to get,
Yeah.
so you can get the blackstrap
I was,
molasses.
I was I was looking at it last night with this supermarket.
Yes.
You know that the herb that is known as purslane, or we call it parsley,
Hmm.
is rich in everything
Iron.
that you just mentioned
Yes.
there.
Yes.
And you know, when you eat these green leafy vegetables,
Mhm.
you want to ensure that you get the iron.
Yeah.
When we eat callaloo, colored green, spinach,
And I
and all
just
of these
I
things.
just hope my friend is listening to this.
Yeah.
I just really, because my friend needs some extra iron.
Yes.
Right.
So in order to get the iron out of these green leafy vegetables, one of the things that you have to do is to also, when you're eating them, you also eat natural vitamin C.
Yeah.
And so some persons, when they steam them and are eating, some persons will put the fruit and tomato with it, because
Mhm.
tomato is rich in vitamin C.
Yes.
So it helps to, when you are eating, it helps to extract the vitamin, the iron from the green leafy vegetable, or
Right.
orange, and so on. So, but you must have natural vitamin C. If you're using orange, it's not the one that is in a box, or the one that is processed. Is the one that is not processed. That use the fruit preferably. And you can also use lime or civil orange as well. But the natural vitamin C is very important. Most persons, when they give you, for example, callaloo to eat, they will cut up some they'll put some tomato with it so that you will get the iron out of it.
You
It
know,
is very important to get out the
yeah,
iron.
you
Because
know,
sometimes you go to the doctor and the doctor say, eat these green leafy vegetables to get iron. But
mhm,
persons eat it and they are still anemic.
yes.
But because I didn't know that they should put the vitamin C with it to get
I
it out.
can attest to that because
Yeah.
when I was growing up,
Mm.
I was told that I was anemic and I eat so much callaloo.
Right.
And each time I go back, I'm still anemic,
Mm.
not realizing, not, and it's after years after we
Mm.
discovered that we have
Natural
to
vitamin
get the
C.
vitamin C
Yes.
with it. Yes.
Yes.
And during pregnancy, some women also suffer from constipation,
Mm-hmm.
and some persons they are prescribed bulk laxatives and so on. But you can get psyllium, right? Psyllium. The psyllium seed is good for that.
Mm.
It can be used for a long period. It doesn't affect you like the conventional medication,
Yeah. Porcelain does not affect you if you're pregnant.
right?
Right? You can
Yes,
eat it, you can
all
drink it,
round.
you can eat it raw, you can cook it, you can
Put it in your
put it in
smoothie,
a
put it in your
smoothie, you can
rice.
eat
You
it
can
any way you
you
want.
steam it
And you
like
get the
callaloo,
iron. Yes.
mix it with callaloo or
Yes.
cabbage or
Yes.
anything like that.
Right.
Yes,
It has its own vitamin C.
yes. One lower bowel formula
Mm.
is cascara
Yeah.
sagrada bark.
Mm.
You can also use the bayberry root bark, golden seal root, red raspberry leaves, fennel seed as well. You can soak the fennel seed in water overnight and you can drink the water in the morning and just chew on the seeds, and this will also help as a laxative.
And just in case you might know where can I get like fennel seed and so on to purchase.
You can get it at health food
Right.
stores.
And
Yes.
it's in the Otrius market.
Yes.
The fennel is sold in the Otrius
The,
market.
the, the herb,
The herb fennel is sold
the
there.
leaves,
The
yes.
leaves. And
You can get
so
the dried leaves
you can get
too.
the dried leaves and you can get the green leaves. You
Mhm.
can get the green leaf and dry it yourself. And the
Mhm.
gentleman that sells it, there's that gentleman that always has a lot of it there in the market. You can tell him that you need some of the seeds
Yes.
as well.
Mhm.
And so it isn't, some of these things are not hard to get in Jamaica. It's just to know where to go and get them.
Yes.
So if you are unable to go to the health food store, for example,
Mhm.
you can go just walk through the market,
Mhm.
and see. Ochirius Market is one of those places. Just walk through and see if and well, the persons are from there's a place in Center called Bamboo that a lot of it is there.
Yeah.
So you just walk through and get a lot of it. Yeah.
Yeah. So these that I've mentioned, the cascara, sagrada bark, and bayberry root, and golden seal root, and so on, you can use several of them together, maybe three or four of them together, but not do not take them for too long. The psyllium, that seed you can take for a long time,
Mm.
but it is not advised that you take these combined ones for very long. It is advised that you do not develop a laxative habit.
Mhm.
All right. Make sure that you eat the foods that are high in fiber, so that this can help you to help with the constipation. Do not use mineral oil.
Yeah.
Do
Very
not use
important. This is
mineral
very
oil.
important
Yes.
because there's some persons when they're pregnant they use mineral oil.
Mhm.
Don't use it.
Don't use mineral oil.
You know, one of the best things is to be a vegan. And you won't suffer from any of these things.
Plant based.
To be plant based.
Yes.
To be plant based,
Yeah.
you won't be constipated
Mhm.
at
Yes.
all. Yeah.
All around. Yes.
Mhm.
And if you during pregnancy there is something called false labor,
Mhm.
and if you know treat with this condition, you can drink catnip tea, and you drink this in small amounts.
Mhm.
The catnip tea, you can use that. You can also use the blue cohosh,
Mhm.
and this is another very helpful herb in relaxing the uterus. All right, and some women get really gassy, so you can use the papaya, those little the seeds. You can use some of the seeds,
Mhm.
and they have some. You can use ginger as well to help, and peppermint to help with that. Some persons also treat with heartburn. You can also use comfrey and pepsin. These are useful to help with that as well. The comfrey tea is good and calming, and it can also help with that. And pepsin. Insomnia. Now, most pregnant women need additional calcium in their diets. So, what you can do is drink teas of equal parts of hops and chamomile. And you can do this before retiring to bed. Another formula is equal parts of um, wood betony, chamomile, valerian, and peppermint, and also catnip. You can use these. And of course, when you're pregnant, this the one of the famous things that pregnant women suffer from is morning sickness.
Mhm.
You can use the red raspberry tea, and this is excellent. Also, the catnip tea is another good one to use. Now, a little ginger is also useful. All right, and for a miscarriage, you can use the red raspberry tea. This is very helpful in avoiding a miscarriage. This is a good formula. Also, the wild yam again, false unicorn, squaw vine, cramp bark. Also, these are also helpful. Now, you can use a tiny amount of lobelia. This will help to relax the uterus. Catnip and bayberry also help prevent miscarriage. So you can use these herbs to help you. Now, toxemia is another condition that affects pregnant women, and you can use the raspberry, alfalfa, and comfrey tea. And what these do, they provide a nourishing, cleansing effect. All right. Um,
Squaw
the
vine.
squaw vine, yes, yes, the squaw vine.
so so looking at it now, I know that you can find
You
it
can
locally.
find it
Yeah.
locally. Yes, yes.
Mhm.
Right. So you see, they're not hard to find. Um, for the last 3 months before delivery, right? You do a pelvic tonic, and you can use equal parts of partridge berry, cramp bark, blue cohosh, and false unicorn roots, right? For the last 3 months before delivery.
Mhm.
Now, for the last 6 or 7 weeks before delivery, you can also use make this tonic. They can use the squaw vine, the black cohosh, false unicorn, blessed thistle. Nebert mentioned that earlier.
Mhm.
The pennyroyal, the red raspberry, labolia or lobelia, sorry, and you can use them very small amounts of these, right, to make a tonic. You can use the squaw vine as well, the black cohosh, pennyroyal, the raspberry and lobelia in very small amounts. Now, what you're going to do is mix equal parts of the raspberry leaves, the blue cohosh, false unicorn root,
Mhm. Yeah.
motherwort,
Yeah.
and you can use these formulas. They will help the pelvic muscles to become elastic and relaxed.
And that is important in pregnancy
Very
because
important.
at the time of delivery,
Mhm.
we know how important that is at the time of
At the
delivery.
time of delivery,
Mhm.
yes. And the Braxton Hicks contractions.
Mhm.
If no, this is a powerful tightening of the uterus and hardening of the abdomen.
Mhm.
If this occurs, you can take these herbs that I to relax the uterine area, such as the cramp bark and the wild yam. You can use this. All right. As pregnancy begins, be sure and carefully um, read so that you can know what herbs are good to use during pregnancy. All
Yes,
right,
very
because there are
important.
some herbs
You
that
can't
you can
use.
use. You can't use
Some of you can
during
use, some of you
pregnancy,
can't use.
and
Yes.
it is very, very, very important that you know these herbs.
Mhm.
All right, so when we come back here, we're just going to share with you some of the herbs that you can use at childbirth and some of the herbs for nursing mothers and herbs that you can also use for infant care. And then we will give you some cautions regarding some herbs, and then we will share some women herbal tonic with you. All right.
Yes.
We shared some that you can use during pregnancy. Let me just, and these herbs are used in at particular times.
Yes.
So, for example, for the last 3 months
Mhm.
before delivery, right? You can use the partridge berry, the cramp bark, the blue cohosh, and the false unicorn root, and you can use this as a tonic. You can have this. And for the last 6 or 7 weeks before delivery, now you can use the squaw vine, black cohosh, false unicorn, blessed thistle, pennyroyal. You can use more than you can use all or more than one at any
Mhm.
given time,
Mhm.
3 or 4 of them
Mhm.
together. You can use all of these in very small amounts. All right, and these can help to keep the pelvic muscles elastic and relaxed.
Mhm.
And this is what you want. You want to eliminate stress, anxiety, and fatigue.
Yeah.
So you take these herbs, these tonics during pregnancy to help with your pelvic muscles,
Mhm.
help them to relax them.
Mhm.
And in everything, remember that the 8 laws of health are important. They are all important.
Mhm.
Either during, after, or no pregnancy, both for male and female. They are very important. Trust in God and allow Him to work in your lives. Remember to check your diet, right? Because you need a balanced diet. And some of the things that we are consuming are not good for us. Some of the medications that we are taking are producing these side effects that affect our
Mhm.
other systems in our body.
Mhm.
They break the nervous system, the endocrine system, all our
Mhm.
systems. And we don't want to do this. It is best to go the natural way.
Yeah. Yeah.
And if you are willing to be obedient to God, He
Mhm.
will show you the way.
Yeah.
This is one of the reasons why this program is on this station for you, for us, so that we can use it as a guide to do the necessary amendments in our lives so we can be healthy for it. All right? God has said in His words that He wants us to be healthy, He wants us to prosper in health. even as our souls prosper. Nebert,
Yes.
any closing words?
Um, what I would like you to know is that if you practice healthful living, if you follow the instructions that God has given to us, Genesis 1, stick to the diet found in Genesis 1:29, stick to the fact of Genesis 3:18 that herbs were added. So Genesis 1:29 fruits, nuts, grains, and then Genesis 3:18 herbs were added. And if you stick to that, you find that you normally, under normal circumstances, would remain healthy.
Yes.
And also, you notice that when you are ill, you keep going back to these things. So we keep saying, make sure that you stick to the diet that God has given to us, follow that diet, and remain healthy.
Yes.
Nowadays, we hear a lot of things about many different type of viruses that are going around, and viruses that are coming back into place. Um, and that they are, they are going to be following some of the same systems that was followed during the pandemic. What we want to assure you of is that God understands what is happening on this earth, and He knows what will take place in the future at all times. So this is why He has given us the particular diets that He has given us, that we remain healthy. Once we remain healthy, then it doesn't matter what happens, what comes, we will be able to overcome. I pray and hope to God that we will follow the instructions that God has given to us, and will utilize the information that He has given to us, and will eat the way God has told us to eat, and to follow the 8 laws of health to remain healthy at all times.
Yeah.
I must also say to those who we're waiting for the other program to take place, that it will not happen this evening.
Okay. Yes.
Anthony and Rowan will not come on. You will see them again on Thursday. And so I implore you to just to, you know, just to apologize and to say to you, you'll see them again on Thursday. And tomorrow morning, we will have our regular Bible study. And so we thank you so very much for being a part of this program
Yes.
today.
Thank you for staying with us, and blessings to you all. Nebert, could you just pray
All
to
right,
take
let us
us home?
pray. Our Father which art in heaven, we thank you for being with us this afternoon on this program. We thank you for the way that you have carried through with this program. I pray that persons were listening, were understanding what the things that were being said, and would order their lives accordingly. Thank you for your blessings and your Holy Spirit's presence. And we pray and hope that as persons listen, they will have heard something that will allow them to be healthier and be closer drawn to you. Thank you for everything you do on our behalf. For Christ's sake, we pray. Amen.
Amen.
And so it is by from nature's way